Hi everyone. Today I was studying at a library here in a suburb that's near where I live. I really love coming to this library whenever I want to study. It's a beautiful place, very quiet. However, today it wasn't that quiet. I was studying when a lady approached me and she started talking to me about something she said. She wanted to open her heart to me. So she was like, you know what, I'm not really happy about something that is happening nowadays in this library and in other libraries in this city where we live. I'm like, what is it that you're not happy about? Like, I'm not happy about the fact that there are so many people who are disabled. Look, I know this is going to be offensive to so many people, but I just thought that it's really important to share with you what happened to me today, because I really believe that it just didn't happen for any other reason but for me to share it with you. Anyways, how people with special needs, I don't really like to name them disabled that much, to be honest. I'm not that kind of, I don't really support this kind of terminology. Anyways, so people with special needs might be a softer, more gentle way to say things. Anyways, back to the main subject. Before I tell you what my opinion about the whole thing is, I'll just tell you what happened. So she said to me, I'm not happy about the fact that nowadays we're finding disabled people doing things that they can't actually do. And people here at the library are not equipped, or the staff are not equipped to be able to deal with disabled people. I'm experienced, I've been a teacher for years. I think she was trying to say in a way or another that disabled people should not be working in places where the staff are not equipped to be able to handle the ups and downs that they might go through, the emotional turmoils that they might go through. For a person who is suffering from a certain, let's say, mental disorder, or they wouldn't be as mentally stable as a person who is not, of course, passing through a similar kind of thing. I totally understand it. I was like, I agree with you that certain jobs can't be too suitable for that. But I was like, I think it's all about incorporating different sectors of the society. Like, it's all about incorporating them into everyday life and making them feel that they're normal. And this is part of the healing process, because of course if you treat someone as being disabled or as being lesser than other people, that they have a special case that others don't have, they are going to feel marginalized in a way or another. So I think this is why, I think it's the government behind this, the council behind this, what is happening right now. And I really understand that it is all driven by good intentions. I absolutely have no doubt about the good intentions that are behind what is happening right now. But I agree as well with the lady who was talking about an incident where one of these people with special needs, he just lost it and he threw an object that he was carrying on another person, and then this caused a chaotic atmosphere in the whole place, and everybody went around trying to find solutions to the problem, and nobody had the experience required to deal with situations like this. And she feels that she is very experienced in dealing with people like that, even though she's not qualified. Let's say she doesn't carry a certain qualification that relates to working with people with special needs or disabilities, whatever you want to call them. Look, I totally understand, and I said to her that it's a coincidence that it's a part of my study. I think she was very happy. It was like, wow, I was all the way from that room to speak to you here, because I was really stressed. Well, this is how the whole thing started, is that she was talking to herself. I just noticed that I was trying to study, and then heard a lady talking to herself next to me. She seemed really frustrated and angry, and I absolutely had no clue why she was angry, why she was stressed. But anyways, I looked at her just out of curiosity. I just looked at her, and I did not want to start a conversation or anything. I was just looking at her. I was just going, what's happening? And she looked at me, and this is how she opened her heart to me. She started talking about what was going on. She was really upset. She sat next to me. She started doing her own thing, and I started studying and everything. And then a few moments later, I think she left because a person with special needs came into the room where we were sitting, and he was really loud. He was frustrated, and I don't know, the lady that was sitting next to him, I don't know if she was his mother or anything like that, I'm not pretty sure. She was complaining about the fact that this is a library, it's not a place to heal here, it's a place to study. You need to have a certain environment. I disagree with her and agree with her. When it comes to people with special needs working in different fields without people around them specialized in, let's say, mental health and have experience in dealing with people with mental illness and stuff like that, is a little bit dangerous. I'll tell you a little incident that happened a few years ago. I remember that I was at uni, and there was, because I'm studying psychological sciences, so we're lucky to have the professors who teach us. They're all psychologists, which is really good. All the teachers who have taught us before throughout the past years were all psychologists. So if anything happens, they really have the experience to deal with anything that might just happen out of the blue. We were watching a movie, I can't remember, it was like a documentary, and then the girl just started breathing heavily, loudly. It was like a panic attack. And then after a minute, she started screaming and she totally lost it. And then it was the way that the professor reacted was very impressive. I was highly impressed, and I really loved how she reacted. She ended the lecture and she requested that we all leave, and there were two doors, and she told us to leave from one door, and she took the girl through the other door. She made her sit outside and she started calming her down, and nobody actually knew what she said to her. She was very protective, and a few minutes after the professor took the girl out, everything went back to peace. So I think this is what the lady was talking about, the one that I met today. I think she meant in particular that if anything happens or anything goes wrong with a person who has a mental health issue or anything like that, because they're more sensitive than other people, of course. They're more prone to be affected by negative incidents that may occur at any time. And the effects of such incidents are far more damaging to them than to other people. And to be honest, and without being offensive, they need help. And it's not a bad thing if you need help. I'm not being offensive if I say that people with special needs, they do need help. Yes, but it depends on what type of help that they receive. Because if you're trying to help them out of sympathy, you're not helping them. But if you're helping them out of experience, of passion and love, that's way different. Everyone actually is in need for that kind of help, not just people with special needs. So I understand and I agree with some of what the lady said, but not all of it, of course. Probably they're not supposed to be working in libraries, or at least if they are to work in libraries, right now they're working in the cafe, in the library that I just left. They serve people like food and stuff, and they work as cashiers as well. And to be honest with you, one of them served me coffee. They made coffee for me. It was really cold, it was tasteless, and I just accepted it and drank it, and I was happy with it because I know that this is their best. You're not going as well to be harsh with a person who's trying to live normal like other people, who's trying to earn a living with dignity and everything. I highly respect that they're working and they're trying to be a part of this society, and that thank God that the government is helping it. But it depends on what type of jobs that they should be given. That's the first thing. And second, are there people that are equipped with the special qualifications, special experience to help if anything goes wrong? So I really thought that this doesn't relate to art, it relates to psychology. And here you can actually consider it as it relates in a way or another to my channel. But what I'm trying to say is having people working in places where they're not capable of completing those jobs, let's say accurately, professionally, or they might be less capable of doing those jobs than other people, is not a big issue when there are people around to support them, to help them, to give them the right guidance and everything. But the main problem is that the staff aren't equipped and they're not ready to handle situations like this. So probably if you want to employ people with special needs to work in different places like that, in libraries, and be given jobs that are a little bit challenging for them, Why not to have counselors on spot? Why not to have, let's just say, mental health advisors on spot? People that have experience with dealing with people with special needs. Because it's just a little bit insensitive to pressure these people, pressuring them to do things that are beyond their capabilities. And it's not, again, it's not a wrong thing. It's good to challenge yourself to try and do things that are challenging. But if you're facing issues, you're facing problems, then a bit of guidance, a bit of help would be great. So that's just a call out for the people who may be in charge of things like that, probably the councils. I hope that they take into consideration this main thing. So probably people like the lady that spoke to me today would find life easier. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my future videos. Bye.